Hello, everybody. Welcome to another wonderful session of Empower Conversation with strong and successful and smart women. Today, we have Adeline Heng with us. She's from Singapore. So, guess how old she is? I'll give you a moment to guess how old she is. All right. So, Adeline, would you tell us more about you?
Hi everyone listening to Fan Power. My name is Adeline Heng and I'm from Singapore. I've just turned 50 about a couple of months ago.
Woohoo!
Can't be happier.
Are you scared? Were you scared? The big
Scared
time
about turning 50? No. I think it's a gorgeous feeling. It to me represents maturity, wisdom, and a lot of confidence. And probably or most likely because I am in such a healthy state, not just of body but also of mind. And I've experienced so much personal growth that you know that's making me realize who I am, and I'm happy to be walking closer to it every day.
That's awesome. Women think that once they hit like after 30s, they're like a goner, right? But you are starting your life at the age of 50. You're starting a brand new thing, brand new business. You just quit your job. Were you scared? Because they always say, oh, if as you age, you lose points, you lose brownie points, or you lose your value, right? Were you scared at all
Well,
to start
when
all over again at 50?
Well, you see, when I quit my job, 2 years ago, I was just so sick and tired of having, selling my time to the company, to corporate, and it's the best time of my life, and I may not get, the things I get in return is not doesn't correlate with the kind of time and effort that I put in. And most of all, there's no appreciation, and what can be worse is when our or mine I felt at that time my personal values are not aligned with the
the
company.
company.
Yes, even though the company was doing something great, but there was no alignment in terms of values. So I just had to cut the cords, to because since we don't resonate, I decided it is better to make a clean cut instead of trying to hang on just to the idea of having a job, having an income, and in exchange for all the wrong vibrations. That wasn't worth my time, worth my while. So I was very clear that I needed to leave that place so that I can get on with my what was happening in my personal life. I have personal goals. I completed writing my book, and that was the best thing that I can give to myself, to show myself that I can do this. And at this point in my life, I'm starting a new program to help women to help women who have everything on the outside and yet feel empty on the inside, to know that they deserve a happy, fulfilling, and purposeful life. And that's my goal, to help everyone. And frankly, age is just a number. It should not be a deterrent to anyone. Just because I'm 50 doesn't mean that my life is gone. I whatever it is, if my lifespan, I believe it's like maybe up to 83 now for women. So I still have a good 33 years, So there's so much I can do. And why just go into this space where I feel I'm a goner. I have nothing to contribute anymore. No, on the contrary, because I've traveled, I've walked 50 years on earth.
You're half a centurion.
Half a century, right? Yeah, that's a long time. And having
But you
gained,
don't look it.
thank you. Well, if a woman knows how to take care of herself, that will be that will help her also to go on this journey, this walk towards the autumn of her life. Autumn does not have to be bad. In fact, I believe
Autumn is
I
just a change of season, isn't it?
yes, it's just a change of season. Absolutely, it doesn't mean anything. It's just, yeah. And for us, at this point in our lives, maybe it's to a lot of gathering, I guess, gathering of experiences, gathering of whatever we planted, whatever we sowed. Now it's time to gather. If
So
you have
now,
not sowed, then you start sowing now.
mm, so now at the age of 50, now you know what you knew. Have you
Mm.
ever wondered what took you so long? What was actually holding you back for the past, I don't know, if we had started work at the age of 25, so you actually were lost for 25 years. What happened during then?
I think if you had asked me that question 5 years ago, I wouldn't be able to answer
Hmm.
because that was the time I started on this journey of discovery.
Hmm.
At this point, I can
That's a
tell you
good
that.
point, the journey of discovery. So most women, it's like, or most people, as a matter of fact, they think that just because they reside in their body, they have an identity, their names, Elisa and Adeline Heng, they think they know who they are. But
Mm,
yet, still need to discover. So tell us more about how did you actually
discover.
started your journey of discovery? What happened? I mean, nobody wakes up one day, hey, I think I need to get to know myself more, right?
Well, if you ask me what happened, I would really have to thank this group of new friends that we found at that point that opened my mind to so much possibility
Mm,
that my job does not define who I am.
mm,
There's a whole new world outside, and these are I could feel that whatever ideal stories and goals and plans they had resonated with my own values, and that was the point that I started discovering that look, maybe this job doesn't resonate with who I am, but I had to hang on to it because of income.
mm,
And actually, at this point in my life, you asked a question earlier. What was it that stopped me,
mm.
or you know,
What was holding you back?
what was holding me back? Right?
Yeah.
I was holding myself back.
Mm.
I mm, I remember being a very rebellious girl, and I would do the opposite of what I was told. So when my parents would tell me not to be certain things, and I'll just do the opposite.
Like, you're not the boss of me.
Yes. So I somehow lost that over the years as I was growing up, and now that I found it,
So my question would be, how did you lose it?
mm, well, I was I unconsciously gave up being that rebellious person.
Why?
Maybe why I perhaps deep down I was a very obedient. I am still very obedient. So if that's what my parents expect me to be as I was growing in age, I just conformed with their idea of a good person.
So where did the
And
rebellion come from?
I don't know. I don't you find that all kids, teenagers especially, are just out to prove to you that no, I decide I have this streak about me, and slowly as they grow, then they kind of mellow,
Mm.
and we start to bear responsibility for our life. And I can see that turning point for me. Probably I've been doing some work on myself, right? So I've discovered that I could have started this change, giving up my rebellious self at about 18.
So interesting. You said gave up your rebellious side. As you say that, right? I was also a very rebellious child. Skipped school, took drugs, and got kicked out. And then I think maybe yes, I was trying to prove a point. I was also trying to figure out who I am. And then I
Mm.
think at some point when you said mellowed down, I don't think it's just mellowed down. It's like I think ultimately we just figured the fight is just not worth it. It's like it's just too tiring, and then you kind of like
Yeah,
conform.
yeah,
Conform is so much easier than trying to go the other way, isn't it? And then you realize as you
yes,
age, like, oh, it's just not worth it. And then you just gave up your identity. That's what you said.
yes. I think it's also partly because uh, as I got married at 26, I had my first child at 28. So by then, my life, my, you know, women, we just go through these stages in life. And as we go through this, uh, we assume these sorts of responsibilities. And then somehow we, our mind just, I don't know. For me, I guess I just focus on the task at hand, which is raise the kids, keep the family together. And I had a job that time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I just work during the day, come back to my kids, make sure that they grow up well, and kids below 5 need a lot of attention.
So
And
do you
so
think
that
you were just being functional?
yes, very much functional as well. Yes.
I think a lot of women are functional, but they don't realize it as they are being functional.
Mm.
So it's like the same shit, different day. You're just like what you say. You're just doing a task
Yes, I was just doing my task of
as
like
a mother, as a wife.
absolutely, yep. And of course, when I started rediscovering myself 5 years ago, I had lots to work on. First, it was the things on the surface, like the difference between an employee and not being an employee as an entrepreneur. And these were all just very external stuff. But even though I quit my job, I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I still had I still had this nagging feeling of like, can I be it? Is this really what I want? Do I deserve to be there? Am I worthy of it? Who would listen to me if, when I talk? So I had a lot of these issues to work with. And and as
Actually,
I
you
told you,
you touched on a good point, which is deserve. I
mm,
think most women, even though they're not in the self-discovery mode yet,
mm,
but they kind of like it know it have it in their secret compartment. This is not what I want, but they don't want to rock the boat, right?
mm,
They just
yes,
be very functional. So they keep that secret thoughts in their secret compartment. And why do you think we do that? Because ultimately then if we keep that in the secret compartment, then we won't live that kind of life.
yeah, yes, absolutely. And
Do you feel
because
like we don't deserve that secret life?
actually, I think it in that secret compartment that is in this forgotten place that we totally forget who we are, forget
Our
to live for
dreams.
ourselves,
Mm.
forget our dreams. I mean, I've been talking to so many women in the past 5 years, what's your dream? What do you really, really want? They say, I'm so busy with my life. I've not thought about it. What is it that I want in my life? Maybe when my kids finish their PSLE lah.
Mm.
And this person that say when both her kids finish PSLE, her youngest one is already in Sec 2. I think still don't want to think about what she wants in life. All she does is she watch Korean drama, K-pop, you know. And
Just to
I,
avoid.
yes, and when I ask her to come to even meet for tea, no, no, I'm very busy. I think she's so afraid of meeting me because I'll ask her these questions that make her think. And I feel somewhat sorry lah because these are my very good friends, and I don't know, maybe eventually one day they
I think
will
women
want.
always have this like I'll wait till my kids grow up, then I'll divorce my husband. But then they end up never divorcing their husband. Or I would wait till my kids grow up, then I'll start doing something. I'll wait till something happens, then I would do something.
Yes. Don't you call that codependent? Is that codependent?
I
No?
think that is
Unforced.
tolerating, but it's also codependency with, like the fear of making the wrong decision or the fear of even making decision.
Yeah.
Codependency basically is the opposite meaning of independent woman. So
Mm.
somebody who is like what you say, very successful on the outside but still feel empty on the inside.
Mm.
So that's not really an independent woman, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's why I guess I kept the job so I can be financially independent, you
Mm.
know, and quitting the job challenged this whole concept of independence for me. And of course, being an entrepreneur, it just means that we are tired of having, money that we get for giving up our freedom. And but what's the other side of the coin? You get back your freedom, but you may not have that source of income that you want.
Mm.
And so for me, breaking that bondage, that money does not mean that I have to give up my freedom. Neither does having freedom mean I should have no money. And that was another light bulb moment, if you call, light bulb moment for me. And you know what then drives me now is this desire for to bring this message out that look, we need to be uh looking out for ourselves for once, that when was the last time you pat yourself on the back, say good job done?
Mm. It's
And
interesting because on the other hand, we have so much expectation on ourselves.
mm,
Like probably nobody said that to us, but we just give ourselves like so much expectation. Like actually, I think we give ourselves a goal that is unattainable.
yeah, yes, I believe that's what happens with people. When you meet one goal, you just set another goal that's higher than this one. And when you meet this one, you set another one. And eventually it gets so high that you feel, oh, I cannot reach there. Or
Mm.
unless unless you are aware and you keep, upgrading your
Mindset.
mindset. You keep upgrading this software here to a version that meets your goal. And you have to keep doing that
Mm.
to reach wherever you want to reach. And when is enough?
I think the difference is, when you set your own personal goals, it's
Mm,
personal development. When you set your goals based on the external factor of what people think you should
mm,
do, then it's an unattainable goal because people's expectation of you is, or not people's expectation, society's expectation of you is always very different. You have to have the car, you have to have the house. So if you are going to measure your personal success against that kind of success, then it's never ending, right? Because you can always have a bigger house, you can always have a bigger car, isn't it? You can always make more money.
yeah, that's right. So don't you get tired of trying to chase those
Yeah,
goals? Yeah.
yeah.
So I think life is more than just chasing those goals.
So where do you
Life,
think like these goals comes from?
hmm, conditioning, as you said, society's views of what success is. You know, everyone defines success. I think most people define success with accumulating materials,
Mm.
be it a house, a car, beautiful men, beautiful women, money, these sorts of things, accumulation of these items.
Mm.
So when is enough? It just gets bigger and bigger, it just, yeah.
Mm. So
uh,
what's the more realistic way of setting goals then?
personally, I from personally I would think that first we need to know who we are and who we want to be, right?
Mm.
And those are very big abstract concepts, because I am not just Adeline Heng, but who is Adeline Heng? These are, I think, maybe it is even rather philosophical. It's dwelling on that area that we need to consider, to start thinking about
You
those,
said
answering
something
those
said
questions.
something to me early on when I told you that, hey, I am now helping women to become the woman they have always wanted to be. And then you say, oh my God, that is like a change of identity.
Oh, yes. So that, absolutely, I when people are looking at changing identity, I believe personally, when
Actually,
I
it's
went through
not
that,
really changing, right? It's just letting go of the identities that were
the
not
old
yours
one,
in the first place, right? That you have been told that you should be this person.
correct. So, or another way to look at it is letting go of that identity that doesn't serve you anymore,
Mm.
because that identity may have served the last 15, 20 years, I don't know.
For
But
survival or whatever
yeah,
reason,
for
right?
it served you for surviving those years. But now at this point in my life, I really want to be someone different. I want to be who I am meant to be, who I'm called to be. I want to live a life of purpose. And to live this life of purpose, we need to first work it out in our mind, like who, then where is this direction? What uh what role am I fulfilling? What am I going to do?
Yeah. So you said something about working on yourself every day, but people just want to get
Mm.
there like right now. Because as
Mm.
we talked about it prior, like
Yeah.
if you follow the society standard, right, it's just
Mm.
where you are and there's just one straight line. It's to get a good job, climb the ladder, get married, have children, pay bills and die. So you kind of like know that's very obvious. But now
Yes.
when you want to become the woman that you have always wanted to be, or you know learn to learn to receive and to know that you deserve everything, you got to deviate from that
Yes,
identity.
absolutely. And I think I believe we've been conditioned that we need to get from point A to point B.
Like
And
now.
it's yeah, like now. And point A to point B can be 3 steps, 5 steps, 10 steps,
Mm,
10,000 steps.
mm.
So it depends on how what is this distance, and we can't just be even taking 3 steps at one time. So we have to, and the other thing that this I heard this lady share with me was, even the next step in front may not be so clear, because in her life she had to move forward
Keep moving.
without knowing what is in front. There's no clear view on what's in front, but versus staying where she was, she just had to take that step. So isn't that true for a lot of us, in this life, in becoming who we are, who we have always wanted to be? you know
Mm.
we have to make that step, decide decide to move. And once you decide to move, everything will flow, right?
Mm.
We just need to trust ourselves to make that one decision to
I
change.
think it's it's the fear of making that decision, because when you're here, even though it's uncomfortable, you're familiar with the energy, you're familiar. If you're in a relationship that the guy whacks you, yeah, you don't like it, but you are familiar with what's going to happen the next step. He's going to cry, you're going to say yes, and then you're like, oh, this whole drama thing. And perhaps we are also addicted to drama. We are a
Yes.
victim of our own current circumstances because we tolerate. But then more importantly is because you know what's coming next, because we are creatures of comfort, right? We
Mm.
enjoy this comfort zone even though it's uncomfortable.
Yes. Yeah, you're so right. You're so right. And another thing that came to my mind is that sometimes it's so easy to be lazy, so
Oh
easy to be
yeah, so
comfortable.
easy to be lazy. Yes.
Yeah, it's so easy. I mean, like, why that came about was
Actually, you're right. Talking about your friend who just watch K-pop all day long, it's just lazy. What? It's pure laziness.
yeah, it's it you know we just do things out of familiarity because
Mm.
we know we just do it lah. Instead of like, okay, now I'm going to be this new me. So but I'm not sure what this new me is, so I have to go and figure it out, and that takes a lot of energy, for lack of word, energy, to just explore, and it may not be comfortable
Yeah.
because for me it required me. Now I know why I had to step out of my comfort zone of not speaking, not doing public speaking, because this is um my life goal now, is to spread this message that you deserve this life that you want.
Mm.
And I want to just go all out to speak on stages to say this.
So, how do you think in your own story you stopped yourself from deserving? Who told you that you don't deserve certain things? Who told you that you don't deserve the life that you want to have? Who killed that dream for you? I mean, seriously, somebody killed the dream for us, right? Because when you look at a baby, nobody's gonna curse the baby, say, "Yeah, this one not good for nothing. This one now A will be prostitute." Or, "Oh, but this one will be a lawyer." Nobody says this, right? Everybody will just have a very like really come from the pure. Oh, this baby is so adorable. This baby is so amazing. Even the babies who are abandoned, you wouldn't think, "Well, this one a gone case," but you still think that, oh, it's just a miracle of life. Like, oh my God, this baby is so pure. We're all
Mm,
born like this. At some point in time, somebody told you that, right?
yeah. Well, I think good that you asked this question, because it came to me recently as well, that the root of how I keep getting in my own way of meeting my goal, going for achieving success, is it could be uh, back to the time when I was maybe around 18 years old,
Mm.
getting ready for my A-level exams.
Mm.
And I remember my grandfather telling me that, hey, you just study hard, you don't have to worry. If you need to go overseas, Akong will pay for you, you don't worry. Just go and study, just do your best, okay? But somehow the conditioning from my mom was this, that because this my father is the number three of 12 kids. So so it's a big family. It's a big family, and people will be looking at us, you know, and we shouldn't be taking money from your grandfather like that. If you can, if you qualify, you qualify for local university. If you cannot go to local university, forget it. Never mind, just go out and work and find another way to get your degree later.
So she basically told you to reject the abundance.
Yes. So,
And how
and
did you feel at the time? Did you feel like because I am not worth it, or I don't deserve
I
grandfather's
think the
help?
rebellious streak in me was, no. He said he will sponsor me. I would
Mm.
just go.
Mm.
But somehow I sabotaged myself,
By believing her story.
possibly by believing her story,
Why
and
did you listen
also
to your mother then? Because if you had the
I was a
rebellious,
good
but
girl.
you were also rebellious at the same time.
Yeah, I think my rebelliousness was just verbal.
Right.
I think deep down,
You
I
were
didn't really
scared.
want to challenge. Yes, it was easier to.
Confirm. So let me ask you a
Yeah.
question. If you weren't scared to go against the grain, would you have gone?
I could, yeah, I could possibly have gone, but there was another issue. I was seeing, I already met then this guy that I knew I was going to marry, and of course, till today, I'm still married to him now. And I knew that if I chose to go overseas, I would put this relationship in jeopardy.
Mm.
So there were two things that at the back of my mind stood in front of this opportunity to go overseas. And mind you, this was prior to my exam. So everything depended on the results, right? And guess what happened? I didn't do well enough for anything. So
But you could have sabotaged yourself, right?
yes, so of course today I recognize the pattern that I sabotage myself because I was afraid of success actually.
But what if you have gone and you would have met a better dude? I mean, there's nothing wrong with your dude now, but I'm just saying, right?
Oh yeah, I'm sure then life would have been completely different, but that's not
But don't
something
you think
that
we also make decisions based on what we think is best for us at that time, that we couldn't see something even better? And for women, like when a younger age, we always make these emotions. We always put love first, right? But now
mm,
knowing what I know now, I'll not put this relationship. I'll put myself first.
yeah. So I guess that's on hindsight.
It's too
Uh,
late now to to kind of like reverse it, but sometimes you just like go back and you think, what if you had made a different decision? But then you made that decision based on your mother's story, wasn't it?
yeah. So I think for now, I have always believed that it's not about making the right decision. It's about making the decision right. And therefore,
What's the
where
difference?
because you see, if we always thrive on making the right decision, then we will never make any decision because
Mm,
every decision is not right. I'm still waiting for the right decision.
mm,
But once we decide, then we have to make this decision the right one, meaning
mm.
that okay, so at 18 I kind of screwed up my life and end up where I am today. So I mean, instead of dreaming of the life that I could have had I met a better dude, life would be different. I mean, I have no basis of that dream. It could have been, but
So going back to this
doesn't
also, do
matter.
you think
Yeah,
also women live in the what if, like if I had, and then they
yeah,
sabotage now to move forward? Because you hear old people
yes,
say this all the time, right? Like, hi, last time, da 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 da. If I had known, da 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 da. If only, da 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 da.
yes.
Right?
I think all those stories will hold us back. Because then we are regretting
Hmm.
regretting that decision that we made. But what I'm saying is, look, you've made that decision. It's okay, it has led you to where you are. Maybe there's some lesson in this
Yeah.
life for you. What can you make out of it?
Mm.
And make now this
A brand new
make
decision,
yes, a brand new decision, or make good of whatever you have right now.
and don't make the same mistake, and then 5 years later regret, and then the same regret happens.
Yes, yes. That's the most ideal. If a woman can decide, okay, this is where I am right now. It's been like this. I want to do something different, and I'll start right now.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. I think, healing happens when you just make that decision. Sometimes you don't have to go through the past to figure out, but if you just make a very strong decision, then the universe
Yes.
will conspire to make it happen for you. But of course, sometimes it is
Yes.
necessary to know what's holding you back, what's
Yes.
sabotaging you. I think it really depends. Not every point in your life you need healing, but every
Mm.
point in your life you need to be conscious about why you're picking this, why you're choosing this, why you're doing that.
Yes.
Then you kind of like rewire and have a new programming in yourself.
Yes. Totally agree.
So now, do you think you are the woman that you have always wanted to be?
Yes, I am on that path right now, and it's good that I am making these realizations, coming to terms with, um, this person that I want to be. And every day I know that I'm taking a step closer, and I know that sometimes when we are getting close to this, when we are getting too close to where we want to go, there's always turbulence. Trust me, there will always be
Mm.
turbulence. Like you'll be wondering, did I do the right thing? Am I on the right path? Am I like, did I just put myself in this deep sheet of mess? What am I gonna do? And it's bound to happen. It's definitely going to happen. That mess. But when you know, trust your instinct, trust your source, trust God, and take that step closer and closer to who you are meant to be, you find that when you're finally there, you have this sense of peace and calm, and you just know that this is what I have to do. And
It's like that
yeah,
what the lady you said, you might not see what's going in, what you can see in front. It might be a blur, it might be a mess, it might be fuzzy. The key is just to take one tiny step or one big step, whichever way it is, but it's to just keep going.
keep going. Yeah, keep going, and
So I was in
this
this mess for a year. So people think like, I mean, like you said, it can last for 10 years, it can last for 20 years. But I've never experienced this myself. Usually my confusion is like 3 months, but this was 1 year, a long 1 year to finally get to where I am now. So, and you also said it doesn't matter, right?
mm,
But this 1 year
yeah,
was horrible. I hated my life. I hated everything. But it's like, even for me, I've been doing development work for such a long time, for 10 years now, and I still can get lost. So don't think that just because you're on a development work or a spiritual journey, you will never get lost. It's not true. I still got lost, and it took me 1 year to now regain and to restart all over again. And the key is to
mm,
just keep going, right? Because at the end of the day, this 1 year of being lost is to become the woman that I want to be,
yes,
right? It was a very difficult times for that 1 year. Like everything I do, like what you say is a turbulent. Everything that I do, it it's like what you say. Your identity served you for to this point, but then it
mm,
cannot serve you for the next level, and that
yes,
identity couldn't serve me for the next level, and I needed to do some readjustment and refine, and the fears all would come out. And believe me, this 1 year I thought I've worked on my fear and I'm done with it. No, it came back again, like fast and furious, like. And for me to really see,
mm,
and then it took me 1 year. Who knew it was, when it was like 6 months, I thought I'm done. No, but the confusion started, like it continued and continued and continued. But now finally it's a year, and when you get it, it's like just this moment you get it.
mm,
It's like, and then you just walk out of the maze. But during that 1 year, it was just, I don't know, it was just going around in circles. Was
yeah,
it like that for you also? Like in the
yes,
moment of
yes,
clarity, it's just this moment of clarity.
yes. I think um I recognize some important milestones. First, we have to ask for what we want, and before we are even able to ask for what we want, we need to know what we want.
Yeah.
Have a clear idea, desire, then you ask.
But
And
even if
when
you don't have a clear desire, it's okay, because you already know the current situation is not serving you, and that's the first step of asking, hey, is there
asking,
another better way of living, isn't it?
yes,
Then
and
that's when the
after
whole process
asking,
happens.
we need to be open to receive, because a lot of people ask and then just expect one answer. And
That's
if
true.
that answer is not this one, it's another one, which could be a better one, but this comes with faith. Then you may miss the sign.
That's true. When you ask for something, sometimes we expect it to come in this way, but God and the universe has other plans for you, but you're so stubborn, right? Then you just don't see what is even better for you. And usually what is even better for you comes disguised as well. Like,
Yes.
this is not what we expect from God or the universe is, I pray the next step should be it. But more often than not, right, it's like one step, another step, then you get it, isn't it?
Mm, yes. And then actually I made a discovery as well. There's one final thing that we have to do. We have to behave as if we already have it.
Hmm.
That we are already in this new destination or this new place that we want to
Yeah,
be.
this is, oh my God, every time I want to manifest something, this whole cycle comes back again, and then you got to really trust, and you got to override that voice in your head all over again. And I think,
Yes.
what you're saying just now, why is it so difficult? Is because overriding this voice requires a lot of willpower and energy. So
Mm.
people don't do it because it's so hard, right? It's not
So
easy.
hard. Yes, yes. And I think to a certain extent now that I'm going through some I'm going through a course as well. It's that we associate pain with this kind of decision, like maybe for me, when I was 18, I kind of sabotaged myself, right? There was some pain. So I need to go back to work on that memory
Yeah.
so that to release the to relieve the pain so that I can get more joy, more happiness up with it, you know. So this is the process that we help our clients through to lower the to relieve the pain and increase the satisfaction, the enjoyment, and the result.
Yeah.
So that
Because we
they,
have two
the
minds.
voice
Yeah.
will not be so loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True. We all have this mind shadow. Basically, we have two minds: the unconscious mind and the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind or unconscious mind is like your black box. It records every single thing. So you need to figure a way out how to bypass or heal and transform and give yourself a new experience to override that past experience. Otherwise, all the decisions that you're making is actually through that pain and through that wound. So no matter how much you try or how much overtime you do, or invest $10,000 in the coach or $50,000 in the coach, and then you're wondering why you're not getting results, is because of this wound or this past memory.
That's right.
So for you to become successful and get the strategy first, work on your wounds first.
Yes.
We all have them, no matter how enlightened you are, because as long as we are living and we are breathing, every day is a new experience, and every day it is a possibility that you create a new wound for yourself. So you have to become conscious.
That's right. Very, very true.
So thank you so much, Adeline, for this conversation. So where can people find you?
Well, for now, you can find me on Facebook, Adeline Heng, and both my business page or even my personal page. And yeah,
And what is your personal page?
That's Adeline Heng.
Okay, just look for Adeline Heng. It's easy.
Yes.
Adeline, ADE.
LINEHENG.
Awesome. I'll put the link on the blog as well, so no worries for that.
Okay.
All right. So thank you so much. And if you feel like age is holding you back, or you are using age as an excuse, then Adeline is one of a very modern, current woman that you can look up to. We have all known that Louise Hay, if you don't know her, she started her publishing house at the age of 60, but now she's already where she is. So maybe you might not be able to relate to that, but Adeline is building her life or rebuilding her life again at the age of 50. So you shouldn't be using your age to hold you back. I'm too young, I'm too old. It's all pure excuses.
That's right.
Awesome.
Thanks so much.
You're so welcome. All right. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. If you have any comments, please leave us a comment and feedback below. We would get back to you. All right. So you take care. Until then, goodbye.